Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah YAHAWASHI, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah YAHAWASHI. All praise, glory, and honor to the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of His Son, which is YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the nation of Yasher Allah, better known as the Great Millstone. Blessings, salutations, and thanks to my fellow laborers in this truth, pushing the same doctrine. The water for hazarding your lives. The water, death to 2/3, and peace to the elect. So this is titled Isaac and YAHAWASHI, and there's a lot of spiritual comparisons. Some are verbal and written and should be easy to see, and others deal more so with balance and understanding of the scriptures. And one thing that I was just thinking of, and the Spirit jumped on me and it hit me, was that it was told in the book of Isaiah that a young woman would bring forth a child. A young woman. It says virgin, but the word there is I'm Salaki. I can't remember off the top right now. Okay, but it means a maiden, or a young woman of a marriageable age. Which could be anywhere from 12, 14, 16. Girls. The female body is it's more fertile in a younger age. And as they get older, typically, past their 20s, they're not as fertile. They stop producing eggs after a time, and they start to go downhill, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so the reason why I'm bringing up Isaac with YAHAWASHI is because Isaac was born to his mother, who was older in age. So when the Spirit jumped on me, it was like a eureka, like aha, like dang, why didn't I notice that before? So when YAHAWASHI had come, the people had a problem with it. When he had come on the scene and was telling everyone, that he must be about his Father's business, that he's come, and people were freaking out about it, but really he was the fulfillment of a lot of prophecies that the people were desiring to see. And those, the so-called New Testament, as they call it today, people act like, because this is ancient, this is still, ancient times, even though it's the New Testament, the Romans were in power, whatever, but they were reading from the ancient books. They were reading from the law, the Psalms, and the prophets. And they always referenced these books. The New Testament is just an account. It's an account from the perspective of believers, which just so happened to be known as the disciples, the 12, and then they became, the apostles, and the ministry grew. But that's all the New Testament is the account of believers. So Isaac, which means laughter, and that was because his mother, Abraham's wife, had laughed when she heard, which the angel said, I'll be back, you'll see me again soon. And he came back as Isaac. So you have YAHAWASHI in different, reincarnations. And YAHAWASHI himself believed in reincarnation. So much so that he said that John the Baptist is Elijah, if you can receive it. So what does that mean? Because the account for John the Baptist, they were cousins. They were both in the womb. John the Baptist was rejoicing, kicking in the belly of his mother when when Yahawashi's mother came around to visit. Okay, so John the Baptist, he was older, not by much, but he was older, and he had come to prepare the way. He had come to prepare the way, man. So Isaac and Yahawashi, it should be understood, with that balance being shown, and how he was brought into the world in two opposite fashions. Both through the wood. It tells you in the Apocrypha, that every man, every person has the same entrance into this world. The space of 9 to 10 months or moons. Okay, compacted by blood and with the seed of man. And you notice it's by the seed, because now that's just obnoxious as fuck. That's just Satan tripping, smashing in a 45. Anyway, anyway, it's the like I was saying, the balance of things. Okay, the balance is known. So those that can receive it and see it, we see it clearly. The comparisons, and the wicked scribes and Pharisees of his time, they didn't want to believe that he was there, because they knew that they would lose their position, because the Levitical priesthood was to be done away with. And that was mentioned of and known for those, because look, man, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, they studied the scriptures. They were brought up in them. They were well versed. They understood that they had ability, they understood they had ability to be and live in corruption, man. The Most High, first of all, the Most High made them that way because a string of events had to take place and occur to where Yahawashi was, killed again. And you can find that in the Psalms. You can find that in the prophets. So they knew, but they didn't want. Really, it was the Most High who had their eyes and their ears and Yahweh. So like the stream kind of cut. But Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi willing, I can do some followers, because brothers been kind of sharing precepts. And in the book of Acts, I want to say it's the 13th chapter. I can't remember who's speaking, but if you read it, start around, the 20th verse or so, maybe the 5th. Actually, I want to say 13 and maybe 12 or 15. And you read on down, they're going to reference the second Psalm. And then, when you go into Hebrews 8, 9, 10, and 11, you're going to find it, just riddled with acknowledgement from the Old Testament, and just the spiritual understanding they had that, the whole Levitical priesthood was a rehearsal of things to come. And that was something I had mentioned this morning. I believe it was this morning. I did another live stream. But when you read those chapters and those verses, it said that these things that they had, the cups and the candlesticks and all the stuff, they were still made by the hands of men. And really, who was clean to make these things? You had to prepare yourself and get clean. You had to separate yourself from your woman. You had to separate from this and that, and you had to purge yourself to be able to touch these things. Well, that was just a rehearsal, like it says. It was a rehearsal, a shadow of things to come. Now Yahawashi being, his blood was shed, his body's the bread, his blood is the wine. He took on everything. He took on everything for the atonement, for the redemption. Okay? And Isaac, if you remember, Isaac, was he not going to be a sacrifice? Was not Abraham going to sacrifice Isaac? He was. You know, so how spiritual is that? Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. 3 things right there. You know, hey, Shalom, Gabar Yahawah. Yeah, that was the point. You know, I went a little longer than I wanted to. But hopefully, you know, it was edifying or, you know, insightful. Hopefully something can be taken away for the elect. But until next time, hey, Shalom. Shalom.